live as my dudes. Well, not live as such, like pre-recorded as my dudes. Although that doesn't really hit the same. Anyway, Mac is back. I'm here to remind you all to stay hydrated, but this is actually pre-recorded, naturally. As per request of the community, I'm doing a Q&A this week for the videos, so Brick's going to go ahead and edit this brilliantly. Shameless self-plug to Brick right about there. So what's going to happen is I'm going to answer some questions that were asked in the Discord, so I think that'd be good fun. One can only hope, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Also, disclaimer to anybody who watches Friday's stream, this is when I'm doing this, so I don't just wear the same clothes all the time, okay? Like we have my dude Brick. Great that you answer. You'd be asking questions for me to answer. I do appreciate that. Where do you see yourself in a few years? 3 to 5. Now, look, ideally, I'm here doing this kind of on a more permanent scale. You know, ideally, I'm entertaining for a living. I don't know if it'll be here, but hell, if they would like to pay me properly to do this, so that I don't have to go to an office every day and deal with customers who just want to yell at you, that'd be fantastic. I would love that. My dream, what is your dream vacation destination and why? It's a bit of a tricky one. When I go on holiday, I literally have exactly 2 caveats, right? My idea of an ideal holiday is exactly 2 things. I don't work, right? So that's a big one for me on holiday. I don't want to work. Like, I remember going to visit my mum one time. She's like, oh, and I'll tell all my friends you come and you can fix their computers for cash jobs. I'm like, oh, fuck, I want to do that, man. And 2, I want to eat some good food. Now, I don't care how that food comes. I don't care if it's from a restaurant or if I have to barbecue it myself. That's what I want to do. You know, if I want to take some time off work and I want to eat some good food. They're literally the 2 things I want to do on holiday. If I can't do that, it doesn't matter where the fuck I go, it won't count as a dream vacation. But if it had to be a destination, it sure as hell isn't going to be somewhere fucking ice cold. It's not Alaska, basically. I think it's a bit of a tough one between a few different places. Just because it's close to home, visiting New Zealand's going to be great one day when I can. But I think the thing I want to do most is hit up Broadway. You know, I'm going to go and visit Broadway because I think that'd be the most fun activity to do while on holidays is watch some absolutely banging musicals, some just ultimately good acting, you know, everything about Broadway that is done correctly, or West End in London, you know, and either way, they speak English and so do I. So when I say, hey, where's the good food? They can actually direct me there. Question from Chucky. What was the weirdest thing that happened to me in school? Fuck, man, school was a long time ago, but I guess I got pulled out of class once by the police. They asked me a few questions about one of my friends, and asking if I'd seen him in the last couple of days, and turned out he was a suspect in, like, breaking and entering. He didn't do it, by the way. In the end, they found out he didn't do it. But the weirdest thing, getting pulled out of class by the police. It's like the police come to the door and they say to the teacher, you know, hey, is this bloke here? And the teacher's like, what are you doing? And they're like, we can't discuss that with you. You know, that was crazy. That happened to be like year 10, I think, so I was like 15. Bisha, ask a couple questions. If you could play one game for the rest of your life, which would it be and why? Any game, whether I own it or not. It'd have to be something open world. So it'd be a toss-up between a few games that I've really enjoyed over my life. I've put a lot of hours into Rocket League, but while as much as that's probably one of my favorite games of all time, it couldn't be that because it's the same thing all the time. Eventually, you're going to get bored of doing the same thing. It'd be something like Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption or like Just Cause, like that. Any of those universes where you can just kind of do anything, I guess. That's what would do it for me. If I had to play one game, because within those games, you can do so much. You can be an absolute chaotic evil, or there's probably another option, but I've only ever gone with chaotic evil, so. You go to college, if yes, what major and what did you learn? If not, then what? I didn't go to college, or university, as would happen here. When I was in high school, I did the pathway that would have led you towards university or college, only to have to do a bunch of study and homework, and it wasn't for me. I think that you know what you want to do in general with your life when you're in high school. I don't think you want to know what you want to do for the rest of your life. And I still don't think that you can expect a kid, and yeah, kids, if you're still in high school, you're a kid, you know, to know what they want to do for their life. So to go and say, look, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be an accountant straight out of school is mad. It's going to take a little bit of time to work out what you do. Personally, when I finished school, I already had a job, you know, so I walked in a full-time job where I've become a repair technician. I now manage the place that I'm in. So part of the reason I didn't go was because it didn't end up being for me, the study, the extra school, because I was done with school by the time I finished, to be perfectly honest. as much as I'm sure my mother would have loved it, I was done. What got me into horses? All throughout my life, my mum, she's loved horses. She's always talked about them as if they were the greatest creature to ever grace the earth. And they're pretty cool. So what actually got me into horses was the fact that I wasn't afraid to get on one. So when somebody had a horse that was, oh no, I don't know if I can sit on that horse. Like, yeah, I'll give it a back. I decided that I enjoyed it. You know, I enjoyed it a lot. And then when I was 18, I actually got my own horse. And so it's late to start riding, you know, properly. Like I didn't know how to ride until then, and I learned. Did Western riding, English riding, and the judges are always biased. You know, in every single show I've ever seen, there's a biased judge, and that ticks me the fuck off. Yeah, what ended up getting me into horses, I guess, was just being around them. They're actually majestic creatures, and if you treat them well, they're like giant dogs. And what's not to love about dogs? So that was from Bishop. Sure. If you choose to live anywhere, where would that be? Well, if COVID has taught me anything, Western Australia is a damn fine place to live. I think I'll fucking stay here. What annoys me a lot, the thing that annoys me most in life, the thing that I hate, is people who go out to ruin someone else's day, to actually be a problem to somebody else. That ticks me off so hard. It's like, why are you gonna be like that? Why would you actually choose to have people want to be like, ugh, this person's here? Why would you want to be like? I don't understand it. I don't like it. I'm very hard to annoy because it takes a special sort of person to get there. It's like I'm very hard to offend because it takes very sort of special sort of person to get there. But as such, if you're out to ruin other people's days, even if it's not my day you're out to ruin, I hate that. And you can fuck right off with that attitude. If you could choose a superpower, which one would you choose? It would absolutely be teleportation. I think that would be the most useful superpower, you know, for good or for evil. I mean, think about it like this. If you were good, you could, you know, somebody's, oh no, he's getting away. Well, no the fuck, he's not. Smack. For evil. Yeah, well, you know, I can just break into a bank vault. I'm trapped by the superhero. No, I'm not. Like, it's brilliant. Like, it's all round. I think good balance, good even grounding. Hey, I would want to go on a holiday. Oh, hey, look at that, I'm in Tahiti. Like, it's fantastic. How good would teleportation be? Samo, what's the funniest thing you can remember that happened while streaming? One of the first big raids that I got really kind of threw me. I'd had raids of 3 or 4 people, but when I got a raid of 80 people, and I had, I don't know, 60 or 80 followers at the time, I was just like, what the fuck? Anybody who watches me stream know that I'm not a speechless person. You know, at any point, I can talk. I can keep fucking talking. That really threw me. That put me to a point where I was like, I don't know what to say. But it got me, the good thing about that was that it got me to a point where I then understood how to deal with that, because it was like, you know what, you've got to be, yes, thankful and all that sort of stuff. How long have you been streaming for? As I recall, I started in like September of 2018, but the first game that I streamed that actually got me somewhere was Skyrim. Skyrim got me my first 100 followers, I think. I think I did 80 hours worth of Skyrim, 7 years after it had come out. So it was just fun. It was so much fun. I enjoyed the shit out of that. When will you let me out of your basement? When? How much water have you drank today? How much water have I drank? I think 3.5 liters, 4 liters, somewhere in there. So a fair bit, realistically, for a very cold day. From Arch, or Demonic Archon, as he's known. Another shameless plug could go right up here. Where did the mustache twirl come from? You know, it's funny, because I get asked this at work all the time. I get asked this a lot. It's like, oh yeah, you get the wax on, yeah, nice, yeah. Mostly from old dudes who can't themselves grow a decent mustache. Now, this just happens, for the most part, but it gets long at the ends. The issue I face is it constantly wants to be in my mouth. So literally all I was doing was like that. And then I was like, you know what? Keep it out a little bit better. What's a go-to TV show / movie? I think I've always gone back to The Simpsons, which stems from the fact my mother didn't want to let me watch it when I was a kid. I think we all know that if your parents don't want you to do something, that makes you want to do it more. Well-known fact, I'm not making that up, it's a fact. What's been your favorite game to stream? The game I have streamed probably most consistently would have to be Rocket League. I've always enjoyed streaming it because it's fast-paced, so I can actually keep up with I can play the game, I can have a good chat with people who are almost certainly better than me. There's a good bit of banter, and because I can just block out the the quick chat by having that little background up there. Nobody has to see anything, hate, racist comments, any slurs, any of that bullshit that certain toxic people, and it's a minuscule amount in every community, but they just happen to be the loudest. I don't know who decided to give the fuckwits the microphones, the megaphones, the loudspeakers. What the hell, man? You should have let them have the muzzles. Anyway, that's life. But we blocked that out and it's all good. You go to prison, what was it for? I think most likely, one day somebody at work has just somehow managed to snap me and I've just leapt over the counter and like spear tackled them into a giant television or something ridiculous like that, which would look absolutely spectacular on the security footage. Titty sprinkles now. All right, Bachelor number 1. Oh, those dating shows, they were just toss, weren't they? What other activities besides gaming, work, and some kick-ass cooking do you enjoy doing? I think that everybody who knows my streams knows that I'm into theatre. Acting, I get on stage as often as I can, you know, a couple times a year with different productions. And even if I'm not in the plays, I'm involved in some way, you know, be it serving at the bar, helping with sets, stuff like that. I love my theatre work. It's a lot of fun. Plus, I play badminton. I certainly couldn't do that if I was, you know, not to the level I want to play it, if I was excessively unfit, because I like to keep running. If you were to have a fuck it list, what are some things that be on it? I've always thought one fun thing, if there would be absolutely no consequences. Like, if I could do any one thing and there'd be no consequences, is have some cool police chase. Maybe have like a mad police chase through a city of cars, and I think that'd be good fun. Like, if I was just absolutely hitting fuck it, I'd be like, grab a car and a mad car chase. It'd be a lot of fun. I've been driving for a long time. I think I'd do well. I'd probably actually crash within the first 8 seconds, but, you know, it'd be worth a try. Do you ever plan on traveling clearly after COVID calmed its ass down? Yeah, I do. Look, again, and this will go back to like the first area, I would love to hit up Broadway or West End. I did plan on going to New Zealand at some point in like the recent history, but COVID, man, it's such a bitch. How often do you game when I'm not streaming? When I'm not streaming, on a regular week, I do still live alone currently, so I've got a whole house to take care of. I've got my 2 dogs. Well, I suppose I don't live alone. So I've got a lot of stuff to do, you know. Got to maintain a house. I also work full time. So that makes it a little difficult to do as much gaming as I'd enjoy, because otherwise the house just goes into absolute ruin. Plus, with nicer weather coming up, as it eventually will, I get back out in the garden, so I can do stuff like that. From Shears. What the dog doing? Now, I know this is one of your Zoomer memes that I don't understand why you think is funny. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a photo of what my dog is doing. And I'm going to send that to Brick. And he's going to put it right up here. Okay? And you'll see what the dog is doing. But there's two dogs. What the 2 dogs are doing. From 330. Your name is Mac. Yeah. No, your name is Mac. Yeah. You're saying your name isn't like Mark or something? No. Really? Yeah. It's more from 330. Anyone who's watched your channel for more than 15 seconds have noticed you like to make your own sound effects, even for games that have very distinctive sound effects. What is your favorite self-made sound effects? Look, the world is better with sound effects. Imagine, if you will, a car crash with no noise. A gun shoot with no noise. It doesn't make any sense. So sometimes I think that the world could be thrown with a little more pizzazz just for having simple sound effects. If it's something as simple as a, you know, or a, you know, I make a lot of noises, I know. My favorite self-made sound effect is a pretty tough one, but it's probably like it's not a sound effect as such, but it's just the bruh. Like it's obviously a bruh, but like taken to a low tone and just kind of melded into a wah sort of noise. And it's really applicable to a lot of different situations, very relatable. I think a lot of people can relate to a bruh sort of thing. Do you have a favorite water bottle or any tips for selecting a good water bottle? I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. My standard water bottle is a good old fashioned 1.5 litre or 1500 mils anyway. The bottles themselves cost about $1 full of water, but you use them 100 times filling them with your own water. Now I have a rainwater tank at the back because in Australia they don't tax you for rainwater. My suggestion for selecting a good water bottle is actually you don't have to get something ridiculous. If you get something expensive and you lose it, it's a problem. Or if you forget about it and it grows bacteria or becomes otherwise no good, you feel bad about throwing away a $20 water bottle. Someone gave you a giraffe and you couldn't sell it or give it away. What would you do with it? I mean, keep it? That was the only option, really. Can you ride giraffes? I don't feel like you can ride giraffes. So presuming you can't ride giraffes, I'd probably just cruise into town with it. Just walk it around. Just makes, get people to meet a giraffe. I think people would enjoy that. I think it'd be good fun. I wouldn't try and make money out of it. I would take donations for the food because I have no fucking idea what they eat. Leaves, I guess. Just walking around town. It's like, hey, look, it's the guy who has a giraffe. Yeah. What else does he do? I don't fucking know, but he has a giraffe. From Mitch. Because of Mac's disdain for Gen Z, who is Mac's favourite new singer/band of the last 5 years or so? See, now, I don't have a disdain for Gen Z in general, because if I did, that's half of my regular viewers. It's I don't hate Gen Z. What I don't think is relevant necessarily is Zoomer memes, because most of them aren't actually anything clever or funny. Like a horse on a balcony with Juan written under it. It's not even clever. But my favourite new singer/band of the last 5 years or so, it's kind of tough, because I'll be perfectly honest, I don't listen to a lot of them, but I quite like what The Weeknd has been doing. He's got some really good stuff in general. Obviously, everybody who's watched my stream knows I enjoy, singing, "Ooh, I'm blinded by the lights." That song, yeah, you'll know that song. Everybody knows that song. From Vanille. Or Vinyl, as he's now known. How did you first get into streaming? Yeah, so basically, a few of my friends were doing it. And I thought, that's a fun way to interact with people. Should I give that a try? And one of them said, yeah, you're pretty entertaining. I'm like, okay, you've convinced me. You've twisted my arm. Didn't take a lot, obviously. But the good thing was that I already had a very decent computer. And the games, I was already chatting while I played the games, making the noises. The only thing I ended up having to actually expense-wise, was a webcam. Because I didn't own one of those. I had no reason to own one of those prior to that, but I bought one. C922 Pro Stream was my first standard webcam, by the way. What made you pick up beatboxing? To be perfectly honest, I heard somebody doing it on one of those email route. Back in the day, we didn't share memes over Reddit. We shared memes through email chains. So anybody who knows that, your back probably hurts by now. But more importantly, somebody sent me an email of a bloke beatboxing. I was like, oh, that's fun. That's cool. I wish I could go boom, 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 boom. I was like, oh, I can. And then listening to music, you could pick up the beats yourself, which was good fun. So I was, I'd cruise around going, and then my dad would be like, hey, stop making a noise like an emu. And like, I was 8 years old. I was like, well, now I'm going to have to do it some more. So realistically, I kept doing it because of my dad, and then I started enjoying it a lot more. But I started doing it because of one email I got one time. From Flaming Arrow. If you could invent a new flavour of ice cream, what would it be and what would you call it? I don't like a lot of sweet things. I'm a very savoury person, but as far as I'm aware, savoury ice creams don't probably work that well. As far as sweet things go, if I had to make an ice cream flavour, I would try and do something like... My favourite sweet treat is like chocolate-coated pretzels. They're very basic, I know. So I would try and make a chocolate-coated pretzel ice cream, and I would call it chocolate-coated pretzel ice cream. I think that'd be quite good. Favorite all-time meme. My favorite all-time meme is a very hard one. I quite like the way people use certain memes in different contexts. So, as example, the SpongeBob meme where he's like in the banana position, like in this picture that Brick's gonna put here, and with the lowercase, uppercase writing, shit like that. I think that's hilarious because you can just see the sarcasm, and I love seeing sarcasm because you can't otherwise put sarcasm into text, and that's brilliant. Latest time you ever got in trouble for staying up late gaming as a kid? When I was about 7, I had Pokemon Gold version, I think it was, on my Game Boy. And good fun. Recommend if you like Pokemon, up to 2nd gen. I reckon it was a Friday night. And I said, I think my battery's low, so I'll just play it till the battery dies and then I'll go to sleep. I was already late by the time I was in bed. It was like 10. Well, so for a 7-year-old, that's late. But it's Friday night. It was like school holidays. And I was playing it. I kept playing it. I just kept playing it. And eventually, I made it. I was making noises as I played. I must have made a noise one too loud. And my mum busts into my bedroom. So, what are you doing up? I'm like, I'm sorry. I was just playing until the battery died. It says it's low. She goes, it's 3 in the morning. I was like, oh, okay. My bad. So, that's probably, that was one of them. Can you please give the good doggos a hug? Rest assured, the doggos get plenty of hugs. They're very cuddly. So when I'm not here, if I'm sitting on the couch, rest assured, they're all up and like, oh, hey, oh, hello, dog. Yeah, so I think that's how that goes. And the last one from Hydrated Sands. What's up? Love that hydration. Do you support skeletons? You know, a skeleton has always supported me, realistically. So I think that they're doing a fine job. And they don't get enough credit. So they hold my body up just fine. Anybody who didn't have a skeleton would be better puddle on the floor. So, yeah. I support the skeletons. They're doing a fine job. The ones in Minecraft can get fucked. Okay? But, real skeletons, yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, that's it. To be perfectly honest, that is everything. That is it. That is all the questions. I hope I've answered them to your desires. I hope I've answered them correctly. If you do have any other questions, feel free to DM me. If they're questions you actually want to know the answer to, don't bother with your Zoomer bullshit, like sending me Juan pictures. But yeah, no, that's pretty much how it is. So yeah, that is it from me. I will see anybody else in stream. I will be around. You'll know where to find me, my dudes. You know the 3 commandments. You know to stay hydrated. You know not to work too hard. You know not to take anything too seriously. Make sure you come and see me again soon. I look forward to it, and I'll catch you real soon, my dudes. Bye for now.